Today we are sponsored by Juke Systems Labs. Power to the user. In a world where you thought grinding was the last thing you wanted to do, you found out it is the only thing you can do in this game. They have added the fleet grind. You must continuously add things from lower tiers to your fleet that you no longer have because you threw it all away. You thought that was bad enough. God, that voice is hard to do. But now, you must grind for your Omega Force and for your Romulan Force in order to be able to even buy the elite gear to play the game at higher levels. Welcome to Grindfest Star Trek. What we're looking at here is the Gateway program, which is a web-based program that allows you to access the information from your Star Trek Online account. Currently, the features are that you can look at your character, you can look at what's equipped to your character, and a few other stats. You can look at your accolades, and you can look at your bridge officers and their equipment. You can also look at your ship and its equipment. Hopefully, the ideal thought is that at some point we'll be able to remote control our DOF system. Whether that ever comes to fruition or not, I certainly hope it does. We do have here, we see that we're going to be able to take this, and you can use this on your smartphone, so your iPhone or your BlackBerry, and you can look like you're playing with a smaller version of a pad. You get an iPad or any other comparable tablet or a laptop that converts into a tablet, and with touchscreen, and you can actually be using LCARS. So right now, as I said, this is very, very buggy at the moment. I've only been able to log in ever for like 2 seconds. The first couple times it was because I wasn't getting my code from my email fast enough for it, and then after that it's just you get in there, you start looking, and it goes, hey, we're down for maintenance. As you can see here, I am popping in now. This appears to be all of the characters from Tribble at the moment. So right now you're only going to be able to see what's on Tribble Test. But you get in here and you kind of look, see here saying, welcome back, Admiral Israel. And then I think I widened the screen here with my recording deal so that I can actually see more of it, show you more of it. And then I will get into looking at the various things. Okay, here I'm looking at my ship. And then when I went to look at another part of the ship, it was actually equipped to it, and it crashed out to the desktop. Or crashed back out and said, hey, we're being dealed here. Here, I saved it to my favorites so I can come back to it without having to necessarily work hard at typing it in.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 13 of Trekked. This week and last week we found out some news about Season 7. It's really just about 3 to 4 weeks away. And they've been talking about it slowly. One of the things is that we have a new system for checking what's on our tunes. It's called the Gateway, and it's at gatewaytest.StarTrekOnline.com. From the looks of it, it's kind of cool. Hoping that at some point they're going to add the ability to DOF from outside a game. So if I can sit at work on my lunch break or downtimes and do my DOF missions, then I can sit there and I can pull in all kinds of the, you just get DOF missions done. Pulling the rewards from the doffing. They haven't said that that's what will happen, but I mean, it's LCARS interface. You are going to be able to look at your characters and your and those characters' bridge officers. So with that, it wouldn't be that big of a step. It may be a bigger step than I think it is, but I don't think it's that big of a step to go from bridge officers and your own character and your own ship to actually be able to get in there and actually change what's on your character and ship or your bridge officer, or to get in there and go DOF. I mean, whoops, pardon me, had some pizza. Also, we found out that we're getting a new sector or two, or is it just one? I think it's just one sector. It's going to be the Tau Gamma. I want to say Tau Gamma, but I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, I do apologize. I'm making this one on the fly this week because I've had computer problems. I had my main computer that did all of the processing and everything of the videos, including the video capture from in-game, actually go down, and I had to send it off for repair, and I completely forgot to get in there, get the hard drive, hook it to the other computer at least long enough to get the video. So I've got to take more video again. So I'm going to go ahead and hop in test. As I understand, they have some of Season 7 stuff on test as of yesterday, or maybe even Thursday. But I'm going to get a look at that. We'll get some testing done and see what the situation of the game will be come Season 7. They did come out yesterday, Borderkiss, or JB Jeremy from old J-Man from Jupiter Force and Jupiter Broadcasting. He was actually in, along with Zeronius Rex. They were both in on the TTS channel last night talking about Season 7. Now, Jeremy was doing a lot more of the talking, as I believe Zero was, not at work for the day. I mean, this happened around 6:30 my local time, which is Central U.S. And basically what was being said was that they're changing the current STF store setup and reward setup. What's going to happen is they're going to move it to Omega marks instead of all this tech and salvage and EDCs. They're going to combine that all into Omega. I'm saying Omega points, but I believe the official word is Omega marks. And it kind of had a few people thrown for a moment. A few people were thinking, and I was one of them, I was thinking that the sound was that we're going to have more grind. And I think inherently, yes, we're going to have a little more grind. But that's an MMO. Yeah, I mean, we're in an actual setup. If you watch, like, let's just take Star Trek since we're playing Star Trek Online. If you set with Star Trek, you know that when they come up with a new technology, they sometimes don't even have to go back to the starbase to get it fitted. Sometimes they just simply replicate the exact item or items needed to make a functioning part, or they tweak a power input or output of an item according to specs from the researchers. So in Star Trek, they got their new stuff for nothing. They didn't have to go to the starbase and go, here's 250 million dilithium I mined out there on an asteroid rock. But because it's an MMO, there's grinding and earning, and some of this is playing. Honestly, Borderkiss does remind us that, hey, you know, if you play the particular mission that you're complaining about grinding, yes, it's a grind. He's not going to lie. He's not going to say it's not a grind, because it is. But it's not going to be that much bigger of a grind than it already is. It'll be a little bit, but not so much, because he reminds you that with the stuff that will now mostly be dilithium. Dilithium is basically becoming the central currency in this game. But what it is that it, well, how did he describe it? He said, yes, it's a grind. It's MMO. It's always going to be a grind in an MMO, and that's the sucky part about an MMO. But it's there. It's what happens. It's the nature of the beast. You either love it or you walk away from it. But what's going to happen is the SCFs are going to go to a guaranteed. Everybody gets one of these marks per run. It's 5 of these marks per in a mark 11, I believe he said. So if you get 5 runs in, you've got a piece of mark 11 gear. So if anything, it's going to make it easier for some people to go ahead and get this gear, because right now a lot of these Omega and a lot of these Omega parts and the other part, forgive me, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I kind of crushed myself at work today with a stack of tables that weren't leaned up like they were supposed to be in the cart. They fell over and they kind of squashed my arm, so I'm kind of on the Tylenol pretty good. Well, Mako's the other side, okay. Pretty much it's going to be a little bit easier to get them because you're going to be guaranteed that run. And every run, so obviously yes, every successful run. So if you don't succeed at the STF, well, boo-hoo, you're not going to get a mark. He said certainly that they're going to avoid a double dip. You're not going to get rewarded twice for anything. Anything you've already earned, that's not being taken away. For some, it's going to be a sting that, hey man, I had to play 850 million STFs to get my one piece. Yeah, that sucked. That's why they're fixing it. Did you want them to leave it broken forever so that, hey, I had to do it, everybody else has to do it too? Or would you rather it be fixed? I personally, if it's going to fix it and make it a little easier for everybody to get their stuff, instead of, oh man, that guy has to, you know, basically they're making it kind of fair. Instead of everybody has to run 85 billion STFs in order to get a piece of Mark 11 gear, you now only have to run 5 STFs to get a piece of Mark 11 gear. So, sometimes change is good, sometimes change is bad. Sometimes change, you're not going to know if it is or not until you actually get in there and see it. It's just, you know, they told us when they put dilithium in that the entire setup for dilithium wasn't complete, but we needed to get it in and started and get people used to it. So we're used to dilithium. We're used to dilithium buying some parts, some gear, and stuff that we need. We've learned about the reputation, which is tied to the Omega marks in a way. So, until your starbase reaches, or your fleet reaches Tier 5, you're not going to see the reputation system. I mean, the reputation system is going to be in there, but you're personally, you and your fleet are not going to, you know, benefit from it until you reach Tier 5. So the fleet starbases have really turned into a grind all its own. Especially with a lot of the stuff now, a lot of these missions, if you want to do them and you want to get the points from doing them, you have to have some of the parts that you jettisoned back when you reach level 2. You said, hey, this level 1 torpedo, I don't need 20 copies of it, I'm throwing it out. Well, now we got missions that need 250 copies. And then, and that's a grind on its own, because now I need the energy credits to buy it off of somebody that has it, who knows that I need it, or knows that somebody needs it, and his price is $300 million, or 300 million energy credits, because where else are you going to get this but going back and playing that mission? For some people, going back and playing that mission is not a problem. It's easier, it's better. Unfortunately, we have a new problem. A lot of the older missions have already been updated to come back and give you the level that you're at, level appropriate rewards. So if you go back and you play a mission that used to give you the Mark 1 torpedo, it's now going to give you your Mark 11 or your Mark 10, because hey, you're Rear Admiral or higher, sorry, you're not going to get this Mark 1 because you're at a level I need to give you a Mark 11 or a Mark 10. So I guess you start a new character, or remind people that you get into the game with you that if they're down at a level low enough to have this particular gear, hey man, save that gear, we need it for the starbase, donate it over here as soon as you grow out of it. It's just going to be a grind fest, and that's all MMOs. At the end of the day, Star Trek Online is an MMO. It's an MMO wrapped in one of my personal favorite skins, the skin of Star Trek. So it's a grind, but I guess it's one that at the end of the day, if you don't mind it too bad, you go ahead and you grind. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go get that footage, and then I'll put it on here and we'll see what we got. Take it easy, captains.
So, looking at the gateway a few minutes ago, it appears that right now it's kind of buggy, and that it so far supports your characters in the tribble test server, which is where I am now. I'm going to get a look and see what is on here from season 7 as of yet. Here we go. Right here on the deal, there's a little question mark on the minimap. What's new in Season 7? Update, date, messages, releases, Season 7.ms with appropriate information. Okay, well, which so far it shows us what Season 6 is. Season 7 doesn't have anything listed in it yet, but eventually it will. Let's get a look at the map. Where's the... There it is, that button. Okay, I'm currently here. There's Pycanus. Let me get a look at Galaxy map. Tau Dua block. That's what it is. Tau Dua block, which looks like it's in game in the test server. There's Narendra, Nimbus, New Romulus, the Azure Nebula, and Kittimer. And of course, there's some other planets over here. Should be. We'll see if they're in here yet. Okay, I am in the Kasei section now. Looks like I need to go up a little ways to get to the Tau Dua. I'm hoping I can get to Tau Dua from here, but maybe not. There's the F number. Okay, Arcanus Arm. Everybody was worried about this. Looks like Arcanus Arm stays right there in that end. It looks like it's definitely sandwiched between Tua Dewa and Regulus. So far. So let's fly up there and see where we can get to. Back to area map. I don't see Tua Dewa. Let's go to Pycanus and see if Tua Dewa is approachable from there. It's definitely on the system. It's definitely on the galaxy map. Whether or not you definitely have to go through a certain sector to get to it or not is a different question. Well, looks like there's a way to get to Cyvalurum. It may be in here in game and just not accessible yet, but definitely is placed on the map. So we know exactly where it's going to go now. And we know that it's not going to replace the Arcanus Arm. So all the nervous Nellies out there that were worried about the Arcanus Arm getting replaced, don't be. The arm stays. Yarm, mateys. There's the gateway system. JFS 47 on the right as we pass. Passing Ericsson also on the right now. Very close to the Aromi cluster, which we're not going to warp to. There's the Emirati system. And now we're going to warp to Cyvalurum and see if there is a way to access the new sector from Cyvalurum. Nope. As of yet, in the game, there isn't a way to, that I can see, just by looking on the map, to access the new sector. So the art for the galaxy map is there. It looks like it kind of goes bluish, greenish, reddish for the three factions that it passes through. But as of yet, no, there's no hookup for this sector. So as we add sector blocks to the game, it sounds as if the map is more than big enough for them to be able to adjust the graphics to say, but here where we used to have the Hyrule, Onias, and Meliza sectors stretch all the way from the top of the Cyvalurum block down to the top of the Pycanus block. That's no longer going to be the case because now you have Tua Dewa block. So it'll be adjusted and they will get it in there as soon as they're ready to open that sector to us. So can't wait to see it actually get put up in here. Of course, I'm still waiting for them to actually give us a good look at a few other places like the Trill homeworld, the Beta Z homeworld, a few places like that. I would like to see the first Federation base somewhere in here. Should be in, I think it was somewhere in the Sirius sector, but it may not be. It may be somewhere else than what I was thinking it is. Yeah, the systems are definitely not on the system list for the Mylasa sector and local sectors. Get a look around, see if there's any new fleet. Ah, here we go. Here is apparently some different Cure away team Omega marks. Here it tells you what the reward is. The challenge. This is an elite challenge. It's difficult for 5 players. Region being planet. Cure away team. Cure rescue is now what the Cure space is called. So instead of just Cure space and Cure ground, it is now Cure away team. So the Cure AT and the Cure R. Infected has Manus, which is the ground, and infected the conduit, which is space. Into the hive, elite. Into the hive. It only has the 2 options, elite and normal here. So there's no space component to it. Wow, they have really changed the way that looks, and the join button. It records stasis, which is going to be the ground, and vortex is going to be the space, and then everything else seems to be the same. Oh, Romulan marks for the mine trap. There's a new one. The Azure Nebula Rescue. There's another Romulan marks mission. So they're going to be adding two sets of marks to the game. The Omega marks for the STFs, and the Romulan marks for the Romulan stuff. That's kind of cool. Okay, here we go. Gorn Minefield, breaking the planet, and Gleon Scout Force, and Starbase 24. Temple Fleet action, and Yekli Feeding Grounds is all equipment, and those are up to 20 players. Back on the 5-man mission is the Vault Ensnared, with Romulan marks, and then looks like the Vault Event, so Romulan marks. So it looks like we've changed the PvE screen. I'll see if anybody's wanting to go into the hive. This is definitely starting to look more and more like LCARS. Yeah, it's starting to look a lot more like LCARS on these access screens. So instead of trading these things, all these different currencies from the STFs into one, is already just going to be one, it looks like. I don't know, I may have to go to DS9 here to get a look at the store in DS9 and see what things cost there now. Now, I'm going to beam down to DS9 and either it's going to be what it is on holodeck, or it's going to be the new currency. I'd say with the new currency on holodeck, tribble, it should definitely be the new currency in the SDF store. But that's what I'm going to go look at. That's one thing I would hope would change for too long, is the load times for Earth Space Dock and DS9. Alright, off to the STF store. Get a look at some of the stuff. Here's our STF store. I'm gonna come talk to Commander Roxy. Looks like you now actually access the fleet store from your U and requisitions or reputation tab. And wow, Task Force Omega. Oh, there's going to be pretty much the Starbase system is being rolled out again as well. We're going to have our Starbase system and it's separate, but it looks like we're going to have some missions. That we're going to have to add to for the Task Force Omega and the Romulan Star Empire. And as we do these, we will we'll go up in tier. So it's going to be a lot of doffing. And then there's the store once you've earned the marks to go to the store. So we will have to unlock all this equipment through this. And that's the equipment that's going to be unlocked through there. Looks like we're going to have to upgrade our ability to get the honor guard. But it looks like you're going to get this through the projects. Like right now I can contribute bunch of that. Omega marks. Currently it's got the fleet marks emblem there. That will probably change here before too long. Looks like this rewards 2,000 Omega Special Task Force reputation points. So it might not take too long to get this stuff. Oh, I didn't know I had that much dilithium over here. Oh, that's good. Let's see what I've got for the assets. Oh, okay. And there's what. Well, they're rapidly filling this out, aren't they? Reputation marks, Omega, Elite Omega. So there's actually going to be Elite Omega, and that's actually what Jeremy was talking about yesterday. Now it falls into place. I thought he was interchanging Omega and Elite. He wasn't. There's Omega. That's the standard issue Omega. And then here looks like Elite Omega, and it's a 5. What I said earlier in the previous video, or previous section of this episode, about the Omega being 5 Omega, it's actually going to be 5 Elite Omega for a Mark 11. Or it may even have possibly been 12 now that I'm thinking about it. But this looks like so far some of these missions use less dilithium than the other missions did. So to me that says that while they might not have adjusted anything yet on the Starbase side of things, they have gone ahead and said, hey, people don't want to spend a whole lot of dilithium on stuff like this. So at least these lower tier missions, it looks like they're going to be 900 dilithium for this first one. And I mean, look at this. I mean, I'm at 98% of this particular mission right now, just because I added everything but the Omega mark so far. Most rest of this can be replicated. Well, look, see, there's the old prototype Borg salvage. Well, it looks like it's not worth anything over here in tribble now, unless it's something that we can contribute to these missions, the reputation when they first come on, or if they're going to be, I don't know if they're going to be converted. That's still a little sketchy. I didn't quite catch on to his whole conversation. I walked in towards the end of his conversation. Look, I mean, I've got 15 EDCs here that I obviously can't use in a store anywhere just yet. Since this is tribble, I think I will go ahead and make room for some stuff. And then I can replicate the stuff that I need. Let's see. I need provisions. 50. Let's see if I can give myself a hook. I can actually do that. Contribute them there. I think these missions are going to, I believe completion time is somewhere between 20 and 40 hours on these things. Water purification system and entertainment. Yeah. There we go. All I need to do is earn the Omega marks. Just the normal Omega marks. Which, here we go. We're going to go do that now. We're going to play Into the Hive. So we'll see just how scary Into the Hive is. So it should be fun to see what they changed this room into now that it, I guess it could still be DVAC's headquarters. So you come and talk to them and say, hey, let me join Omega Force when you first get to that level. Oh, yeah, not enough people said, hey, let's go ahead and go. Love that. Well, maybe I won't earn those particular things today. What is the other stuff that's supposed to be added to this particular system? Maybe all that we get to look at tonight is rather late for a lot of different people now. It's definitely late in the morning, well, early in the morning for me now. And for those just starting with Star Trek Online, and you get a look at this video series, your department heads are attached to your DOF system, and you can actually get assignments directly from them. Like this one, if I am missing a required duty officer, but if I have, it's probably the security duty officer that I don't have at the moment, because he's either on another mission or I don't have him at all. And here you can entertain foreign dignitaries, and that's through your first officer. Now your engineering officer, he has stuff like this EVA suit and several other different ones, including but not limited to mining in an unstable asteroid cluster, defuse abandoned orbital minefield, assist with demolitions for dilithium mining, and they rotate out for each one of these gets mission specific to his field. Obviously, any one of these people can be your first officer, and they can turn around and also be your tactical and your security officer when it comes to handing out the assignments. Whether or not they make a difference where they're at, I mean, your first officer can be your engineer. Your first officer can be your science guy. Your first officer can be a tactical guy. And from there, missions are handed out for that particular field. The field of being your first officer gives whoever is your first officer gives you the missions, like the dignitary. As your first officer relays messages from Starfleet, and that message for the dignitary one is Starfleet wants you to babysit a bunch of foreign dignitaries and show them a good time on the town, in hopes that they'll say, yeah, we like you enough to join your group. Tactical, of course, tactical simulations and tactical minded DOF missions. You know, oh, we need to run this drill because Or people don't know how to fight out in the cold vacuum of space while wearing an EV suit. Stuff like that. And here's security. It says security, but it's Starfleet intelligence. And all this is already in as of season 7, with a few changes with the fleet stuff. Well, I would love to have an Aquarius destroyer or a fleet Aquarius destroyer. We'll get there. Well, nobody seems to really want to play the new missions tonight. That's pretty much the look at what's made it to Tribble. So far, again, like I said, the map, the galaxy map overlay that shows you the whole galaxy in sectors, does show the new Tua Dewa block, but it's not actually physically on. Let's just say it's not enabled on the Tribble yet, as it may actually be in there and on the system and just not enabled. But you know, as soon as they release it, I will be over here testing it. I can assure you of that. If I could assure you of nothing else in life, I can assure you as soon as it's released on Tribble, I am out here testing it. That looks to be the extent of what's new on Tribble at the moment. So we will see you next week with some new video. See you later.